Hi Crypt Keepers, thank you for tuning into AmysCrypt. Today I have put together a video that has been quite highly requested by you guys, and that is about my own personal experiences. So here are 5 times that I have seen something unexplainable while filming for AmysCrypt. Now I have spoken briefly about these types of events in some of the other videos that I have created for you all, but I know that you guys wanted a more in-depth talk about my own personal experiences here, and very specifically I know that you guys really want to hear more about the Witch's Pond in Romania. Now the reason why I've been a little bit hesitant towards sharing these types of experiences is because the whole point of what I do is to capture evidence and capture proof of the paranormal, and all of these instances were not captured on camera, which actually kills me because I know that is the point of what I'm trying to do. Nevertheless, you guys have shown interest in this type of video, so I'm putting one together just for you guys. So I'm really excited to share some of these experiences in this video. One of these experiences also is actually not mine, it's actually something that Jared saw. Now Jared and I are both skeptical of the paranormal, and we are skeptical of all of these experiences, so please do take them with a grain of salt. Since we are skeptical of these experiences, I do not mind if you guys are skeptical also. I think that that is the best way and best approach to view paranormal videos online, especially because there are a lot of people out there who are less than honest. But let's dive right into it. So the first experience that I'm going to talk to about today is actually one that I had at the Witch's Pond in Romania. This place is just outside of Bucharest, hidden in the Baldu forest, and it's quite a small little pond. It's said to have cursed water. It's also notorious for being haunted and for being a gathering place where a lot of witches come to perform, so is said, dark rituals. Now another point of interest to do with the Witch's Pond that also adds to the notoriety of this place is a lot of people believe that this was actually the place where Vlad Tepes, who is better known as the inspiration for Bram Stoker's Dracula, was actually beheaded and murdered. And there are some people that will tell you that his spirit is actually in the forest and hangs around the area of the Witch's Pond. So one night while I was staying in Romania, I visited the Witch's Pond to investigate these claims of the paranormal, and I actually did have a pretty weird experience there myself. Now I have mentioned this in passing in another video. I do believe in the other video I said that I saw a black figure come out of the woods, and I think that I just got my words mixed up. It was actually more of like a white figure. So I feel a bit silly, like just I didn't realize at the time when I filmed and edited the video, but it was definitely white. So basically what happened was it was getting pretty dark, and I decided to film an exit for my video, which is basically me thanking you all for watching, saying goodbye, telling you to like, comment, subscribe, go to my website, all of that good stuff. So as I was filming that with my camera pointed towards me, I saw something come out of the forest to my left, and what it kind of looked like was this white gaseous kind of mass. It was sort of shaped like a person, and it came out pretty fast from the forest and kind of come towards me, sort of past Jared, and then just disappeared. It was very odd looking, and I didn't actually capture footage of it. As I said, I was filming myself, but I did capture my reaction, and I'm going to roll that clip for you guys now. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you enjoyed this video. It was probably one of the worst ones I've had to make, just because I had to endure the mosquitoes. So if you enjoyed it, please remember... Oh my god, what the f is that?
What?
I swear I just seen a white shadow walk. Shine over there. That was weird.
Where did it walk from?
It looked... Okay guys, so I just seen shaped like a human. No, it was like a white mist, and it kind of came through the trees over this way toward the path, and then it was just gone. Like, I do have an LED light shining right in my eyes, and this place is very creepy. But yeah, I swear, I don't know. So as you guys can see from that footage, it did spook me a little bit, and I was already spooked being out there. That place is super creepy and it has a thick, weird atmosphere just being there. That place is really, really weird. We were there in the middle of this forest at night. It definitely had that mood where something could jump out of the forest at any moment and come get you. I also had an extremely bright light, a torch, shining right in my face. And for anyone who's ever done stage performances or filmed even just for YouTube and you've worked with lighting, when you're in the dark, all you can see is this blaring light, which is just burning into your eyeballs basically. So sometimes when you're looking around, you might capture a glimpse of that light burned into your eye. And I do speculate, and actually wrote it off at the time, as it definitely could have been that. It did look very, very odd though. Maybe it was just a mix of light burning into my eyes, being in that creepy location. I was a little bit freaked out. I was also quite inexperienced. This was super, close to the start of our trip and start of creating AmysCrypt on YouTube. So maybe it was just something, completely normal, but to me, it really freaked me out at the time. And I always wonder if there was someone running out of the forest at me. What do you guys reckon? Now this next story, guys, I actually love because it's not something that I saw. This one is actually something that Jared saw. If you don't know who he is my husband / camera guy. He is a bigger skeptic than me, and he always comes along to all of these videos and films me. So he's right there in the thick of it too. This one takes place at the Lothian Cemetery, which is in Delhi, India, and it's primarily a burial place for British soldiers, and it's actually said to be haunted by British soldiers. So this sighting is actually something that Jared saw while we were exploring the cemetery. And it's quite interesting because he actually sighted this before the sun had fully set. So it wasn't even fully dark yet. It was starting to get there, but everything was still quite visible. Can you describe what you seen, Jared?
It's like black figure walked this way, but it's in the corner of my eye, and I'm kind of nervous because we had to climb onto a fence to be in here. So I feel really cautious.
Yeah, I also feel like
we're not supposed to be in here.
Yeah, and this area feels a little sketchy. Plus, I read online that there's homeless people that live in here.
This place actually seems more maintained than you made it sound. Maybe they're doing it up.
I reckon they are doing it up.
Now, like a lot of other people who have claimed to sight things, he actually saw this out of the corner of his eye. And interestingly, he saw a dark black shadowy figure going along the fence line of the cemetery, but within the walls of the cemetery. Now we know for a fact that we were in that cemetery alone, and when he did glance back over, this figure was gone. Now if you have watched that video and you do remember it, I'll link it below if you haven't. We were in an area that was very, very loud. So we were hearing voices as if there were people along the fence line, and it's very, very likely that there were living people there, not ghost people, on the other side of the fence. But when we went and checked out the area, there's definitely no one in the cemetery with us. So I don't know that the sighting of the figure could be correlated with us hearing voices, because there were definitely living people somewhere in the vicinity. Now, as I've already mentioned, this person, this figure, this black shadowy person, it definitely wasn't somebody living. We were definitely there alone. Now, what it could have been is Jared's imagination getting to him a bit. It's pretty easy to see something out of the corner of your eye when you are in a scary place like this cemetery, especially because we were a little bit worried about being here, just because to us it seemed like it was in a bit of a sketchy area. Now this might not have even been a sketchy area, it could have just been us feeling that way because, two tourists in a foreign country, we're in Delhi, India, and the second we stepped off of the train at the stop where we would walk to the cemetery, we actually got harassed by a gang of teenagers. So I think that just got in our heads and just set the mood that this was a scary place. Either way, I still think that this is quite interesting. Now, if you were ever to ask Jared about this, he's definitely not going to admit and tell you that it's paranormal. He really likes to stay on the skeptical side of things, and he'll probably just say, yeah, I seen something out the corner of my eye because we were in a freaky ass place. But I have heard so many, stories from other people who have seen things out of the corner of their eye when they're exploring haunted places, and I'm sure that you guys would have a ton of stories that are similar to this. So I would love to hear about them in the comments below, and I'm sure that Jared would also be interested to read those comments as well to see any similarities between his story and yours. Okay, Crypt Keepers, back to my own personal experiences and to the next story in this video. This one actually keeps us in India. This is actually a location for a video that I released quite recently, and that is for a haunted and cursed stepwell in Rajasthan, which is a state of India. It is known as the Chand Bowery. Now, this was probably one of the weirdest experiences that I have ever had, and it's also one that I really hate myself for the most. So we visit this ancient stepwell, which is said to be very cursed and very haunted. Haunted by jinns, in fact, which some of you might know as genies, but they are an entity over there believed in Indian culture, similar to spirits, but with a few differences. Anyway, I admit when we got there, I was actually quite disappointed because the stepwell had been closed off and you weren't actually able to descend down to the bottom of the stepwell anymore. I guess it's to maintain the structure or possibly for safety reasons, because when you look at the stepwell, it is damn deep and damn steep. Pretty much every single other tourist was out there admiring the beauty of the stepwell. So I would go to the back end of it and just start photographing for my website and just taking some footage of the ruins that surround the stepwell, because they're also quite interesting and quite beautiful. Now, as I was doing this, I got to one particular area that was quite symmetrical, so I thought, oh, I'll line this up nice and get a beautiful photo on my camera. So I have my camera hanging around my neck and I'm pointing it at this ruin and just lining it up and just looking at my viewfinder. And what I see was a person in there amongst the pillars, and knowing me, I actually assumed that it was Jared. Jared is so notorious for getting in my way and getting in my shots, so I called out to Jared a little bit, you know, angry, Jared, move, and then he responded, but he responded from behind me. He was not in my shot. And as this all happened, I was watching this dark figure on my viewfinder, and it went from standing in this doorway to behind a pillar. So I was just trying to take a photo out here, and I got a bit pissy because I thought Jared walked through it and there's no, he was actually over here. There's no one here. It was like, I don't know, did I take a photo? I didn't even take the photo because I thought that you were in it.
What did it look like?
It was like a shadow. It was like someone walked here and then just stopped, and I stopped taking the photo. Well, wouldn't take the photo because I was like, oh, he'll walk out as soon as I take it and ruin it. So I don't know, that's weird. Maybe it was a jinn. As I mentioned, there was a lot of tourists around, there was a lot of people there. Not really anyone exploring the ruins though, but when this happened, I was, you know, the first thought was, I need to go and debunk this. I need to see what it was. Was there someone standing there? So I ran over to where I had seen this person and I looked right behind that pillar. There's nowhere they could have run off to or hid. There was no one there. So I have no idea what I saw. I definitely seen something that looked a lot like a person, like a dark figure standing in the shadows. And then as I called out to Jared, it moved behind the pillar. And it seriously, it looked like a person, so much so that I thought that it could just be Jared. Now, the other thing that I have to mention here, the reason why I really hate myself and I'm so angry is if this was something paranormal, if this was a jinn or a ghost or a spirit or whatever it was, I had it in line, in frame of my camera. I could have filmed it, I could have snapped a photo, and I didn't. And the reason I didn't was because I was trying to get a nice picture without Jared in it, and I thought that this figure was Jared. So what I would love from you guys is please leave me a comment below and tell me that you are not too disappointed in me for not filming that or snapping a photo, because what the hell did I have there on my viewfinder? Okay guys, so our next location is probably my most recent sighting of something really odd. And you guys have actually seen this location recently. I made videos for it throughout October leading up to Halloween, and that is the old Adelaide Gaol. If you haven't watched the video yet, I will link it below, but essentially this jail held South Australia's most hardened, dangerous criminals for 147 years. It was also the site of a bunch of executions and is said to be very, very haunted. Now, you guys wouldn't have seen any mention or hint of this in my videos in October because it actually happened completely off camera. So what we were doing was we were actually relocating all of our camera gear and all of our investigation gear from one of the cell blocks through a courtyard to another area of the jail. Now, if you have visited the old Adelaide Gaol, you'll know it is an extremely large place. So when this all happened, it did catch us off guard, and we were holding tripods, we were holding cases and a whole bunch of stuff. We weren't able to quickly react to anything. So when this happened, it was myself, Jared and Alison. If you guys haven't seen any of the videos that I filmed here in Adelaide, you may not know Alison, but Alison runs Adelaide's Haunted Horizons. She's fantastic. They actually have their own YouTube channel as well, which I'm gonna plug right here and link below. I think you should all go subscribe to them. They're releasing some really cool videos from the United States and Europe at the moment. So definitely go check out Adelaide's Haunted Horizons. She was kind of our tour guide for the night and showing us around, telling us about the hauntings, because Alison knows the jail very, very well. She has investigated that place for years and years and years, spent a lot of time there and done a lot of work there. But essentially what happened is we were walking through this courtyard to relocate from this cell block to another area. We heard a really loud bang. Now, Jared and I both don't know the jail well enough to know the noises from the place. There is a railway that kind of runs behind the jail, so sometimes you can hear trains and such. So at first I actually assumed it was something coming from outside the jail, but then Alison said that was the door to this guard tower, which is just down a path from where we were standing, maybe 50 meters or so away. As soon as Alison said that, I directed my sight to the guard tower where the door is, right at the base of this huge stone tower, and I actually saw a person, like a figure standing there. Obviously it's all dark, but it definitely looked like there was a man standing down there. Alison later told me that she's seen the same thing, and what happened was she actually assumed that that was another tour operator who only had 2 people on the tour that night, and they were kind of going around the jail the opposite ends to where we were so that we didn't cross paths. She thought that that was the tour operator, and she thought to herself, oh, that's really odd because the tour never goes there. So it's odd that he's there and entering this building that we never really go into. But as we were kind of discussing and she was saying that was a door, we were just talking about it, we looked back over, there was no one there. So we both seen a man standing down by this, this door, and then there was nothing. It was also accompanied by that really loud sound. It was as if someone slammed a door, or it was super, super loud.
So what just happened?
Well, we all just heard that. I've got the door there. That's that tower behind us. We've got a tower there. No, that shouldn't have happened. I honestly turned around expecting to see the
I feel like I saw something black right near the door too. It's not there now.
Now, I cannot say that that is paranormal. Who knows? Maybe the other tall person was down there. We later asked him and he didn't really know anything about it. So it's odd what we saw, but the fact that both me and Alison saw it makes it interesting. Yet there was one other person there, Jared, and he did not see a thing. He heard the noise. We can all attest there was definitely a noise, but he didn't see this figure that both Alison and I saw down there. So it is a little bit strange. And again, maybe it was an external noise and we're just in a really creepy place in the middle of the night, and then your eyes start playing tricks on you, your mind tells you what you are seeing. Or maybe it really was the ghost of a former guard or something still making the rounds, which to me sounds pretty cool. Alright guys, on to our last location, and I have purposely saved this one for last because this is a location you guys haven't seen on AmysCrypt yet, but the videos are coming very, very soon. I gotta tell you guys, this place is very, very scary. and what I saw here is probably the weirdest paranormal sighting ever. It's really, really odd. This one happened at an abandoned mansion known as the Nyaka mansion in the jungles of Singapore. This place is said to be cursed and said to be haunted. People say that a lot of satanic rituals have been performed here, and it's also definitely haunted by its past as being used as a hospital in the war. So to describe to you guys what happened to me here, it is a little bit similar to what happened to me at that Stepwell in India. I was just lining up to take a photo for my blog, my website, AmysCrypt.com, of this great grand staircase. This staircase is massive and it is stunning, and I just wanted to get some really nice photos of it. So I was lining up to take photos. I had Jared standing there with the torch, and very similar to the Stepwell in India, I had my camera around my neck and I was lining up looking down at my LCD screen of my camera to take my shot. Now before I could react, this thing happened so fast that, again, yes, I hate myself, I wasn't filming and I didn't click a photo of it. As I was looking down at my screen, I can only describe it as a basketball size shaped sphere. So I don't want to call it an orb because it was completely black. It just appeared out of nowhere. It was perfectly round and just really empty, fully black. Very sharp edges as well. It wasn't fuzzy or anything. It was a perfect sphere, a huge black sphere. And it was as big as, say, a basketball. It appeared in the air near the staircase, and I looked at it kind of like, what is this thing on my screen? So after it had appeared, it was on screen for a split second, and then it just moved like this off screen. Completely like smooth and straight and quite quickly as well. So, you know, big huge black ball and then like off the screen. I didn't actually see this with my own eyes. I did see this with my own eyes, but only through my small little LCD viewfinder on my camera. In this area just above me, earlier I seen what looks like a black orb pass through my camera screen really quickly. Now it's so weird, and I know some of you might think I'm a little bit crazy or something, but I thought that I had to share this with you guys. And the reason why I really want to share it is because I personally haven't heard any stories or any paranormal ghost stories of someone encountering something similar to this, and it really does interest me. I'm hesitant to describe it as being an orb because it was so black and it moved in such a weird way. It was completely unnatural. Now I did try a couple of debunking things. It wasn't anything wrong with my LCD screen or, you know, my lens. The only thing I could think was that maybe there was an insect or a large bug that had landed on my lens, but just the fact how it appeared and seemed so sharp and crisp as if it was a ball, and then the way that it moved off screen, it just, to me, it didn't seem like it could be an insect or anything like that. But yeah, if you guys know of any stories, or you might have your own experience that is similar and you've seen a huge, you know, black orb, very dark looking, I would love to hear about it, just so that I know that I'm less crazy about, you know, seeing this thing. It's just something so odd, and it's really difficult to describe. I don't know that it was, again, with all these sightings, I don't know that it was paranormal. Who knows, maybe that is what ghosts actually look like. I do wish that I had filmed this, or even just snapped a photo would have been great, but it all happened so fast and I was confused at first as to what it was, that I didn't react and take that photo or film it. It's Jared was there with me. He didn't see anything. He was just kind of blindly holding the torch there. So whether it was just something on my screen or it was actually there physically in the room with us and neither of us were just looking directly at it to see it, I do not know. I really do hope that you guys found some entertainment, you found this video creepy, enjoyed it to some extent. I know that there had been a number of you that have requested this from me. You want to know what my experiences have been, what I have seen and encountered, and that just means the world to me that you guys want to hear about and know about these experiences. even though I didn't capture them on camera, and at the end of the day I have no proof that they happened. So it's really cool to know that there is a trust between me and my crypt keepers. You guys are the best community, and it really just does mean the world to me. So if you did enjoy this video, please remember to like, comment, share and subscribe. I know I've asked you to leave like 100 comments, but please do, because I love to hear from you guys. If you want to do any more reading about any of these places or any of the other haunted places that I visited around the world, then check out my website. It's at AmysCrypt.com, and you guys can keep up with me at AmysCrypt on Facebook, Twitter and Instagram. Thanks for watching, my crypt keepers. Until next time.